Hello, and thank you for joining me. I'm Tyler, and during these summer months, you might find yourself out exploring nature or sitting poolside taking in the sun, and a piping hot espresso might not be very refreshing. So, how do you beat the heat while also enjoying your favorite espresso beverage? Can you pull a cold shot of espresso as a refreshing alternative during the summer months? And how will flavor profiles be impacted by brewing cold as opposed to hot? In this video, we'll break all of that down and explore how to adjust your brewing process to get the most out of a cold extraction, how flavor profiles and caffeine levels are impacted by brewing cold, and how brewing cold may differ from brewing hot, then chilling the shot post-extraction. We'll explore all of that using the Flair Go, because while you're out enjoying the summer months, you may not have access to hot water, and carrying a heating source or an extra canteen just to bring hot water is added weight you can avoid packing. Also, since the Flair Go is a manual espresso maker, you have complete control to adjust your pre-infusion time to make sure that you get the most out of your espresso brewing cold. So let's get into it. Typically, when brewing espresso, the use of hot water acts as a solvent to extract the flavors, oils, and gases locked inside the coffee bean. The higher the temperature of the water, the more effective it is at dissolving the coffee and requires less contact time for a proper espresso extraction. On the other hand, when brewing cold, the absence of heat means the water is less soluble and doesn't dissolve the coffee quite as fast, and if not done properly, can result in under-extraction. But there are a couple ways to counteract this. So first, you want to grind your coffee more fine than you typically would. This allows the cold water to come into contact with more of the coffee bean. Second, you want to increase your pre-infusion time from a few seconds up to 2 to 3 minutes. This allows the water to saturate the coffee more evenly and increases the contact time to make sure you get a proper extraction of the espresso. To start, as mentioned before, you'll need to grind your coffee more fine, but you won't need to adjust the size of your dose. Now, this is all dependent on the specific roast you're using. I'd say dropping it down 3 to 4 full steps is a good place to start. However, adjust accordingly depending on how your extraction tastes. It might take a couple attempts to dial it in. Once your puck is prepared, go ahead and attach the cylinder. Place it on the go. Fill it with cold water. Another great thing about the Flair Go is this is a no preheat brew cylinder, which means it's also a no pre-chill brew cylinder. And then we'll just let it sit for 2 to 3 minutes. So you just kind of hang out and wait. This slow pre-infusion allows the water to saturate the puck and begin breaking down the coffee for extraction. As you begin to lower the lever, and once you get a few drops in your cup, quickly ramp up to full pressure and continue that pressure throughout the entirety of the shot. The initial drops will be very dark and syrupy. However, towards the middle of the extraction, you'll notice that it'll appear to be very light and watery. This helps balance out the extraction from the stronger parts up front. So, why would a cold extraction result in a change in the overall flavor profile? The reason is because cold water is a weaker solvent than hot water. Being that hot water is a stronger solvent than cold water means that it breaks down the flavor compounds and brings out more of the bitter and acidity in the coffee. If you were to brew hot, then chill the shot post-extraction, the higher temperature of the water would continue to break down the flavor compounds and bring out that bitterness and acidity until the temperature of the water reaches a low enough point to stop that process. On the other hand, brewing cold does not break down the flavor compounds as much, which results in less bitterness. And the extended pre-infusion time helps to balance out the acidity levels by elevating more of the sweet, fruity, and floral notes. So, aside from being a more refreshing option during the warmer months, a cold extraction may also result in a more pronounced flavor profile while also balancing out the bitterness and acidity. Lastly, you may also experience a higher level of caffeine due to the increased contact time with the water. So if you use the same dose when brewing hot versus cold, they both contain the same amount of caffeine. However, the increased contact time when brewing cold will produce higher levels of caffeine in your cup. So, can you pull the cold extraction as a refreshing alternative during the summer? The answer is yes, and being that the Flair Go is designed to travel with you, you can always be sure to pull a satisfying espresso even though you don't have access to hot water. The absence of boilers and pumps means there's less to mess with to brew the way that you want, and a cold pressed espresso is absolutely satisfying when you're hiking in the warmer months or just relaxing next to the pool taking in the sun. The way a cold extraction provides a sweeter and stronger flavor profile is an interesting way to learn more about the coffee you use and how you like it best. So thank you for joining us. We hope you found this video helpful. Please drop a like and subscribe for more tips on how to get the most out of your Flair espresso maker. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the comments. Take care.